Hey guys, welcome back to Portable Magic, or welcome if you are new here. I am Trinity, and today I'm going to be talking about 10 books that are going to be self-destructing on my bookshelf in the next year. I have not updated my self-destructing books from 2024 because I did the video in March, so I still have a few months to wrap those up. However, I really like the idea of doing this in December. It gives me a whole year and I don't have to think about when that year ends. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this video now. I do have 10 books over here. Some of them are starts of series. Some of them have just been on my shelves for too long, but we'll talk through each one. Okay. Now, a couple of these, as you guys know, YA has not been my thing recently. I've kind of pulled away from it. There are still some that I really love, still some that I am anticipating sequels from. I'm sorry if you guys can hear noise going on in the background. My son and his grandma are outside in the garage playing pool, and I can hear them coming in and out. Apologies for that. But I do have some YA on here. I do have some fantasy that I'm scared of and have not yet read. And I have a couple that just kind of fall outside of my normal reading comfort zone. Now, I do have plans to do a bingo board, and one of the prompts on the bingo board is to read outside your comfort zone, and this kind of fits into the bingo board. So I might be adding this book to that bingo board, but not revealing that just yet. First, I have some special editions of Owlcrate books left over and just haven't been picking them up because, like I said at the beginning of the video, YA has not been calling to me. First of those being Lake's Edge by Lyndall Clipstone. And it says, there are monsters in the world, there are monsters in the woods, there are monsters in the shadows, and now it knows my name. So this is a book that I really wanted to read at the time, and I was excited for it because it does say kind of gothic to me, and I've heard good reviews of this book. I just haven't picked it up myself, and I bypass it when I think of what I want to read next often. And so, I mean, the cover is like my vibe completely. But I don't know, I just haven't read it yet, and I feel like if I don't put it on a list like this, I'm probably not going to get around to reading it. One that I'm scared of, Tagana by Guy Gavriel Kay. I know a lot of you are going to yell at me and tell me, read it, it's so good. I'm scared. I'm scared that I'm not gonna like it. I'm gonna be that one person who says, not for me, and DNF it. I know that about myself, like in general, that I don't go with the popular opinion a lot of the time. And so I don't know why I keep putting this off, but I do. And I mean, this is one of the best fantasy novels I have read. Magical and masterful, boldly complex, intelligently articulated. And I'm scared. I'm scared, but I have put this on multiple TBRs. I have had every intention to read it, and then I don't. So I feel like, again, if it doesn't make a list like this, then I'm just not gonna read it. And I do want to. I have a few Guy Gavriel Kay. This is the only one I'm putting on this list for now, simply because it has been on multiple TBRs of mine and I still haven't picked it up. And magic, politics, war, those are speaking my language, but I just haven't done it yet, so here we are. One that might not surprise you guys too much is I bought this series, Revelation Space by Alistair Reynolds. I found the first 3 books, the original trilogy, at the buy-sell trade, couldn't pass it up. I knew that I wanted to give this a shot. Am I gonna like it? I don't know. I don't know. Alistair Reynolds is one that could really work for me or is going to be a complete miss for me, but I keep putting it off. And so I'm adding it to the list for that reason. This is very space opera-y if you didn't know. 900,000 years ago, something annihilated the Amaranthian civilization just as it was on the verge of discovering spaceflight. Now, one scientist, the brilliant and ruthless Dan Silvestri, will stop at nothing to solve the mystery of the ancient civilization's disappearance. But the Amaranthian were destroyed for a reason, and if that reason is uncovered, the universe and reality itself could be irrevocably altered. It sounds up my alley. It so does. And I love space opera, so why haven't I read Alistair Reynolds? Look how thick these books are. I'm scared there's going to be a lot of filler or a lot of scientific-y stuff that I'm not going to understand, but I really hope that I love them. Now, this is no thicker than Velocity Weapon, or The Blighted Stars. It's just intimidating, and I don't know why. In the vein of Outcrate books that I still have but have not read, The Ivory Key is one of them by Ashakya Rahman. I don't know if I said that right at all, but I heard mixed reviews on this, and that's kind of what put me off to it. This is desert fantasy, I believe. 4 siblings, a country in ruins, a quest to save them all. Ancient artifacts, crumbling forts, secrets lurking around every corner. That does sound good. I haven't picked it up. Rollicking adventure of royal family drama, treasure hunts, hidden histories. I think what I remember that put me off to this book that most people would enjoy, but I don't happen to, is journeying. I don't like traveling in books. And if I remember correctly, this is one of those that you're journeying. And I don't like that. Anyway, but it sounds decent enough, and I love this cover, but I don't pick it up. So onto the list it goes. Now, if you know my reading taste, this one doesn't make sense. I should have already read this by now, but Within These Wicked Walls is another YA, and I do think the YA aspect has stopped me from picking this up, but this is a gothic novel, and its comp is Jane Eyre. So I do want to read it because I love Jane Eyre. I do want to read it because I love gothic novels, but it has been sitting on my shelves for almost 2 years, I want to say, and I haven't picked it up. And that's the only reason I can think of that I haven't picked it up, is because there's this big old YA stamp right there. But I have read some YA gothics that I did enjoy. I love Erin A. Craig. And there are a few others that I have really enjoyed. The Depths was also an Outcrate book, I believe, that I really enjoyed. But for some reason, I'm not picking this one up. Okay, this one I've had for a while, and I picked it up because it sounded cheeky and fun. And then I realized I didn't like cheeky and fun books. And so I wanted to read this because I knew that it was going to be a movie, and I wanted to get ahead of the game, but I don't know, I just have had no desire to pick it up. And that is The Spaceman of Bohemia by Yaroslav Kalfar. I think that's how I was told to say that. But I don't know. It's supposed to be funny about an astronaut who really doesn't care about his career. It's kind of a drunk, if I remember correctly. Don't quote me on that. Fiery, funny launch of an exciting new voice. Literary astronaut. I don't know. I want to read it, but I also don't want to read it because I know it's funny. Humor and me don't get along. There's going to be another one that comes up that is very similar to Spaceman of Bohemia. Let me just go ahead and talk about that one first, because it's We Could Be Heroes by Mike Chen. I don't like superhero books. Why did I buy this? I don't know. It's funny and it's superheroes, and I bought it anyway. The buy sell trade, I will pay $1 for just about anything if I think there's a chance I might like it. And this falls into that, but it says sweet, sincere, and sure to see you sob. We Could Be Heroes is the almost superhero story we all need right now. Sweet, sincere, going to make me cry? No. Anti-buzzwords. So I do want to give Mike Chen a shot. I do think that there's a chance that I will like his writing, but I don't really know why I picked this up. And if I don't read it in the next year, it's gone anyway. And one that kind of hurts to put on the list because I've had it for a really long time. I was convinced I was going to love it because I love another series from this author, but I have refused to pick it up because I love another series from this author and I don't want to be let down. And that would be The Iron Lance by Stephen R. Lawhead. Yes, I own this trilogy. I've owned it for forever. You guys have seen it on my shelves every time I've done a library tour. So why haven't I read this? I don't know. Other than being scared that it's not going to compare to the series that I do love by Stephen R. Lawhead, that's all I can say. That's all I can say, but I do need to read it. And if I don't read it within the next year, then I need to go ahead and unhaul them. Next is one that I feel like I should have read again, but I haven't, and I keep passing it up, and I'm not exactly sure why, but that would be Thistlefoot by Jenna Rose Nethercott. And this is what I like to read. This is fairy tale retelling. This is dark, but I haven't picked it up. And I can't explain it. I don't know why I keep passing this one up. But if I don't read it, then I need to get rid of it, right? Like, and then if you can't tell from the cover, it's a Baba Yaga story. So I feel like I should have read this. Fabulous, weird, gorgeous book. But it's going on the list because it's been on my shelves and I haven't even thought about it. I haven't even thought about putting it on a TBR. And so now it's here. If I don't read it in a year, then I'm never gonna read it. The one that I thought could probably fit into a slot of outside my comfort zone that could still fit into the bingo board that I'd like to play, that would be The Removed by Brandon Hobson. Now, this one, the reason I haven't read it is the reviews have not been great. I'm not saying they've been bad, but they've not been great. I think this is one of the lowest rated books on my TBR. It was a book of the month book, and I picked it up because it is surrounding Native peoples and because I am Native, and this is based on Cherokee people, which is my tribe. I wanted to read it. That's the only reason I own it, is because I saw Cherokee and I was like, oh, cool, I'll read that. And then I never did. And I've had this for a really long time. Since I've had Book of the Month, I think. Let me see what this says. Yeah, January of 2021. So we are going into 2025 now. It's been a while. But that's it for my self-destructing books. Let me know if you guys have read any of these, what you thought of them, because I need some motivation to pick these up. I need to know if you guys loved them and I'm sleeping on them. I need to know if you guys hated them and I just need to get rid of them. I will do an update for my self-destructing books from last year in March when we get around to doing that. But like I said, I posted it in March last year and I'm regretting doing that because now my brain doesn't want to think about the books anymore at all. It's like the year's over, we're done. Also, this is not a video idea that I came up with. Becca and the Books is the one who started doing this, and now all booktubers have kind of glommed onto the idea. But I'd like to give props where props are due, so there it is. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Bye.